I got your back.
I know.
RBB.
Thank you.
Action.
It's like.
Okay.
Hi.
So. Hey. So it's lunchtime,
Are we saying that?
but it's not really lunch.
Yeah. It's a
I
late
mean,
lunch.
It's a late afternoon lunch.
late-
It's definitely not Tuesdays, but it's kind of like Tuesdays.
Yeah. We're here at Tin Man Brewery in Kokomo, Indiana, and thanks for joining us. I have some great women here sitting with me today. I'm honored to have Renee and Katie and Ruth. So, Ruth, you've seen Ruth a lot, but these two are visiting us for the first time this year. Could you introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Renee Becker-Blau, or RBB, and I run the First Indiana Robotics Program.
President.
President, yes, I'm president of the program. And so basically what that means is we believe that our future is built better together and that our youth are the key to solving the world's problems. And so we'll do that through mentorship, hands-on learning, intense competition and core values, and problem solving and community engagement. And it's not about the robots, it's about our robotics community that is preparing students for life. And so that is our organization. We just rebranded, but I'm really excited to be here and chatting with everybody and changing the world. So.
Hi, I'm Katie. I've been in a handful of states and I currently live in California. I'm a firmware engineer is my day job, and I mentor 253 the Boba bots.
Awesome.
Thanks.
And you know Ruth, and you know me. So thank you all for being here. We've got a big old list of things to talk about. It's crunch time. We're kind of, if we had a bag day, we're about almost a week away from bag day, like 8 or 9 days away from bag day. So it's getting to be crunch time.
Still a lot of week zeros happening next weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
There are a lot of team run week zero events happening. There's one going to be happening in Indiana on Sunday, a week from Sunday.
Yes,
Really?
shout out to Red Alert.
Shout out to Red
Oh,
Alert.
Red Alert's running. I didn't even know that, so that's good.
Are you reading Chris Osborne's emails?
For week zero, what should teams get ready for if they're going to a week zero? What should they do?
Pre-inspection, like print off that pre-inspection list that I believe headquarters provides, and definitely go through it, and connecting with other teams to talk about these different concepts, scouting ideas, kind of do some research. I mean, we're a community for a reason, and this is a great time to work together to solve any potential challenges you might be running into.
So you mentioned scouting.
Yeah.
What if my team doesn't have any scouting? What are some basics, Katie? She's like a scouting strategy expert here. Katie Widen can tell us about what to do for some basics of what a team should do for this year.
So for scouting, first off, you have to ask why are you scouting. So if you're scouting for a pick list, that's going to change. Or if you're scouting for match-to-match strategy, or if you're just scouting to measure how your team is doing throughout the event. These are all valid reasons to scout. Once you picked why, then you're going to pick your what. So this is generally where people say, we want to know how many balls were scored in Auton, how did they do with the truss, stuff like that. And then you need to work on your how, and I think this is a big hurdle for teams, is they know the why and the what, but the how is very hard. Teams solve this with apps, some people solve this with paper scouting, and what teams should really be doing right now is building their system and testing it at their week zero. Finding out what the pain points are, what's not working, what they probably won't use. That way they can refine it for their first event so that their scouts are happy and their team is happy.
Also, figuring out who their personnel is for that scouting team. Maybe they need to partner with one of their buddy teams to get the number of people needed to be a scout crew. Because there's many times that like our team and another team might scout together because we're not really big teams and we need the people to help scout.
Yeah, I think scouting alliances are a great way to solve the manpower problem of scouting, and I heavily encourage teams to reach out to each other and say like, hey, let's work together on this.
Agreed. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so judging preparation. So another thing to get ready for these events is to get your team ready to be to interface with judges, put like award presentations together, your pitches. what did you learn? What inspired you? What difficulties did you have? I think Renee wants to talk about some of the things there.
Yes, so in terms of judging preparation, first, congratulations on submitting the Chairman's Award and the Woody Flowers Finalist Awards. Yay!
Because you all did that. You all did that, of course.
Yes, of course they did, Andy. It's very important. In terms of judging preparation, what I want to talk a little bit about is again what Katie said, your why. And so there's this idea of that Simon Sinek created called the Golden Circle. And it's in this video called How Great Leaders Inspire Action. So hopefully we can link to that in the notes. But basically he describes that the great leaders in the world, they all start with why. And so it's not about what you do, it's about why you do it. And so when I talked about the first Indiana robotics information, what I explained was our why. And our why is that we're building a better future together, and that's through our youth. And so we started with our why, but then we explained how we do that, right? And so how we do that is through these core aspects of the program. And so that's where every robotics program out there has intense competition, they have problem solving, and they have hands-on learning. But what FIRST has that is so valuable is mentorship, core values, and the fact that they problem solve for their community. Like, have you seen those FLL kids and those FLL junior kids? I mean, they're just doing amazing things.
Crazy. They're great.
It is. And so when you talk about judge preparation, and then it goes into what? And the what isn't about the robot, it's about the kids we're preparing for the future. And so the reason I wanted to share the why, the how, the what is because it is really important as a team to understand your why. Why do you do what you do? Why do you submit for the Chairman's Award? Do you submit for the Chairman's Award because you're told to do it, or are you submitting for the Chairman's Award because it is a tool that allows you to communicate how you are changing the world? And so I want the teams to understand that if they start with why in the judge preparation process, it will be so much more powerful, the value of conversation that they can have with the judges. And then they should explain how, and then they should explain the what part of it. Okay. Because if you start with what, you would just say, I run a robotics competition. But as soon as I flipped that around and started networking in our Indiana community and started saying that I lead a mentoring program and my kids build robots, everyone was like, oh my God, it's a mentoring program with robots? What is this? And I was like, this is a way different reaction than when I say I have a robotics program and we mentor.
Yeah.
It was fascinating. So I want teams to know that in terms of the judge preparation process, working through those questions, doing practice judge speeches, but then also looking at the Simon Sinek, how great leaders inspire action, and finding your own different pieces, your personal whys, is a really powerful tool in terms of changing the world. And I think that is how we'll be able to take FIRST and really bring it to all of the children that we want to get to.
Okay, well, you guys gave some great advice with judging there. I want to get to some of the technical things that happened this week, and also some of the things that the teams might be wrestling with this week with how they're progressing through their robot build. And I want to talk about, I've heard that bumper material is becoming a sticky subject with regard to power cells.
I see what you did there.
Sticky. And I also want to talk about pneumatics. People are trying to figure out, should we do a single solenoid or a double solenoid? So, what have you ladies heard about power cells and bumper material? Have you heard of this?
I know that a lot of teams have been paying attention to that from the start, once it was realized that through Robot in 3 Days teams, that the balls are very sticky against each other, and they're very sticky against other materials.
Like Codura.
They have a lot of stick and grip,
Yeah.
and if it hits your bumper the right way, it's going to go under instead of up over. So a lot of teams are trying to look into a more slick bumper material. This may actually be one of those years that you want to lean towards, I don't know, like, I think we might have red and blue slick bumper material, right, Andy?
Slick bumper material will help. Mm-hmm. Also, I saw Los Gorillas sent me a video of they were actually using fuel. They were using fuel as a material to help deflect the power cells. So they suggest putting like the fuel material underneath your robot so you can slide over the balls.
This is amazing.
That would be
absolutely fantastic.
Teams should really be jumping on fuel. I hear it's a low supply.
Another use of fuel, just so you know.
It's a hot commodity.
It is, literally. So another thing, pneumatics. So you're designing, you've got your robot designed, you got your cylinders in place. now you got to pick out your pneumatic valves. So you're working with your solenoid valves. Why should you pick a single solenoid? Why should you pick a double solenoid? Solenoid valves, you've got your robot designed, you've got your cylinders in place, you got your forces all calculated, the right bore, the right stroke, all that stuff. But how do you pick a double versus a single solenoid? What are some of the things to worry about there? And what I always do is I go, at the end of the match, if you want your cylinder to be to stop either in one position or the other position, and you're not sure at the end of the match which position that's going to be, maybe up or down, you want it to stop and stay in the position that it is when the power is off the robot. So you don't want it to spring back into that other position if the power is lost to the robot. If you always want to go to the same position when you're done, single solenoid is for you. It's going to push in both directions, but it's going to spring back to that original position once you lose your power. And I'm thinking, a good way to do that, think about that, is if you have a lifter, a climber, and you're always wanting to, if you want to end the match in the up position where you're pulling up on the bar, no matter what, then you want that single solenoid to default into the action that's the solenoid, the cylinder is probably compressed and you're doing the pull-up. You can push in both directions, but the single it makes you depend on the one position at the end. Another advantage with a single solenoid is it only uses one relay within the pneumatic control module. If you have a double, you got to use two different slots in that relay. So even though you have one actuation, you have to use two slots. And I see a lot of robots with multiple PCMs on the robot. That's more space, more cost, all that stuff.
More points of failure.
Yeah. And but I do see teams that need double solenoids because they don't know if at the end of the match they want to be open or close. It kind of depends. They want it to freeze at the end of the match, no matter where it is.
E10, a shout out. They actually are working with First Indiana Robotics and a company in their area who's one of their supporters to provide large multi-pallets worth of pneumatics equipment to our Indiana teams. And so there should be more information coming out about that at some point. Our AmeriCorps Vista, Madison Henderson is kind of coordinating some of those different pieces with the team, but just shout out to 5010 for being, super awesome in terms of engaging their donors and leveraging an opportunity to share some of these materials with the first community.
That's great.
I just thought that was really exciting. Since we were talking about pneumatics, I wanted to mention it.
Tiger Dynasty.
Yeah.
Very good.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
Awesome robots year after year.
Yeah, they have. They had the double 4-bar in 2018. It was a pretty awesome robot.
They have one last year too, I think.
They're really amping up their community engagement. It's very exciting to see them becoming a first team because you do kind of that community engagement and the robot aspect and the learning, and it's exciting.
This has been great. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today. This has been super.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Be safe. You're doing a lot of fab. Folks with long hair, watch your hair. Watch your drawstrings. Watch your sleeves. Be safe out there. Seriously, we joke a lot, but we're safe. Be safe in your shops. And have a great weekend and a great week.
But also take care of yourselves. So mental
enough
health,
sleep.
mental health is important, and this is when everyone kind of starts to get a little short-tempered.
out.
Yeah, everyone's freaking out. And just take a deep breath and breathe because it's gonna be fine.
We're gonna end now. That was the next thing.